Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a Cardinal standout who played on the same team with New York City legend Jamal Mashburn. He also made a name for himself playing against some of the best ball players in New York City. After figuring out there's more to life to basketball, he turned his focus to music. This basketball head became one of the more popular DJs in New York City, holding it down every Friday on Greensboro North Carolina radio station, 105.1 Live. Help me welcome to the show, Cardinal Standout, Marc Jackson, better known to the world as DJ Mighty Marc.
Y'all ready? Yeah. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast, go hard. West Coast, go hard. Midwest, go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody, get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
All right. What's happening, my brother?
What's going on, bro? What's going on with you, Glenn? How's everything, man?
Oh, man, I'm blessed and highly favored, man. Can't complain.
Absolutely. Same here. First off, I wanted to just say, this is more than an honor to be on your show, to be on your platform, man. And I salute you. I love what you're doing, and it's a fantastic thing. It's definitely giving back to the world of New York City. Well, the world. I might as well say that, the world of New York.
Yeah, because this is going out to the world, bro.
Yeah, and the amazing players that came out of our city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when I found out, you was one of them, because I like hearing it from other guys. They just give that validation, right? Because people don't brag or talk about people who ain't really do their thing. No matter how big, right? If you impacted somebody's life in New York City, trust me, you deserve to be up here and tell your story.
You know what? When you reached out to me, when we spoke and you told me that, I was really, I'm one of the most humble guys you ever want to meet. You know what I'm saying? On any level. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that knows me well knows that. You know what I'm saying? So when you told me, when we spoke and you said that several guys were saying, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Marc was, you know what I mean? He had game and things of that nature. I was, again, I was very humbled by that. You know what I'm saying? And, this is, again, this is more than a pleasure to be on this platform, to be talking about, my earlier days in terms of balling and all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, Glenn? Like,
right.
And actually, I know our time is limited, but I really got a story. You know what I'm saying? And I might as well just go ahead and get right into it right now. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let me start off by asking this. Who introduced you to the game, my brother?
And I'm about to get into all of that right now. Okay. I started actually a good friend of mine by the name of Reggie Starr. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Starr from Manhattanville Projects in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I'm originally from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, my friend Reggie Starr, who we also played together at Cardinal Hayes. You know what I'm saying? He kind of introduced me to the game, and we used to play, awful lot in at the tender age of like 6, 7, and 8. And all of that, and we used to go to Stone Gym. I don't know if you familiar with Stone Gym, which
Yeah, definitely.
which is actually right next to Riverside Church. Right
Mm.
next to Riverside Church. You understand? And we used to go there, and he introduced me to all of that. And I kind of started to get a feel of the game playing there, and also starting to understand and realize that New York City was completely a hotbed for basketball at that time. You know, I was still in the infant stages of developing my game. You know what I mean? I was still trying to develop my game as a guard. You know, at that time I didn't even know that I needed to be a guard. You understand?
Right.
I was, you know, as a youth, I was very athletic. So it, you know, as you know, it took me some time to get to a guard, if you will, a guard's type of play. You know, it was still infant stages of me learning the game, infant stages of me understanding the game, you know, learning how to play with referees and things of that nature, you know. And it took me, you know, it took a little bit of time, but you know, it was well worth it.
At what age did you fall in love with the game? All right. That's the time you discovering it. When did you like fall in love with it?
Immediately when I first, I mean, I want to say 5 years old, and I wasn't that skilled, but just, you know, just seeing the game, you know what I'm saying? God bless the dead. My grandmother used to take me to see the Harlem Globetrotters, you know, at Madison Square Garden and all that.
No doubt.
You know, and that was when I said, yeah, I like this. I love it. You know what I mean? And I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn how to play the game. I wanted to play the game. You know, so at that point, I started going to the park a lot. I started going to the park in my neighborhood a lot and things of that nature, and really trying to hone my skills and things of that nature. And like I said, then I was introduced to Stone Gym and to PALs and things of that nature. Now I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I was 10, 11, I was playing in leagues. I was playing in little, you know.
What tournaments you came up playing in, man?
In high school or
no, we talking about right now. We still in the preteen ages, right? We talking about preteen.
Preteen. I was playing PAL. I'm playing PAL. I'm playing in Stone Gym. There was, you know, there was also, what was that? Amsterdam Action, and you know, these were the tournaments that I was playing in as a very, very young guy, you know. And I was playing, like, the position I was playing was like small forward, and now mind you, I'm like 10 years old. I'm playing small forward because my skills as a guard weren't honed. You know, I didn't hone my skills as a guard yet. So I'm playing like small forward, some power forward positions, and things like stars. Like I'm really digging in the crates right now, bro. Like Reese All Stars in the Bronx, and you know,
right.
You know, there was leagues. There was tournament up in the Bronx that we played in, and you know, I was introduced to all of this again through my guy Reggie Starr, and you know, he was a pretty tough player too. You know, he was a pretty tough.
Salute Reggie Starr. Was he the best player in your neighborhood at the time?
It was so many. You know, it was so many. You know, that's a tough.
It had to be one. It had to be one top dog, fam. Right? There's always one alpha dog that kind of ruled the surrounding area that everybody kind of look up to. Who was that guy?
Well, at this time, again, I'm 10 years old. So at this time, I want to say Reggie was one of it. He was, like, for his age, he was very skilled. You know what I'm saying? We 10 years old, 10, 11 years old. He was very skilled. Reggie was 10 years. We're 10 years old. Reggie was able to play the point guard position and run a team well at 10 years old. You know what I mean? So I would, yeah.
Was there anybody older than that? Was it anybody older than that in high school who like everybody revered, even guys like Reggie? And you still in Harlem around this time, right?
Yeah, I was still living in Harlem. I had moved to the Bronx. I moved to the Bronx when I was like 16. And now that's a different story.
Okay. All right. All right.
That was a completely different story. I'm gonna tell you about that. But yeah, I mean, there was my guy Chuck Black from my neighborhood at the time. He was a pretty good basketball player, Patrick Paul. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry to put your government out there, but this is my guy, and he was one of the better guys in my neighborhood at the time growing up. You know what I'm saying? He was very, Chuck was very skilled. He could handle the ball, he could shoot. He was dunking, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm like 12, 13 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm kind of, at this point, I'm getting my confidence up as a player, 12, 13 years old. So now, there's, I'm still going to the PALs, and there's so much. But then I started to see that there was so many other dudes out there that was really, really, really good. And at that point, I knew that I had to hone my skills, because I was so used to playing in leagues from the ages of 10, 11, 12, and I was playing a small forward position. Now, mind you, I'm 10, 12, 10, 11, 12 years old. At that time, I'm about maybe 5'6", 5'7", you know what I'm saying? 5'8". I'm still growing, of course, right? So, because now, I'm 6'3", I'm 6'3" now. So I'm still growing. So, but the skills are not, you understand? The skills.
Right. You didn't get a chance to hone your skills, and it wasn't really developed at that time, right?
Now, mind you,
so you're growing. You probably start growing into this body, because trust me, when I started out playing, I was 5'8". Then I grew, one summer, I grew to 6'4".
That's what happened with me.
But I had guard skills at 5'8", so it kind of helped me when I grew.
That's what happened with me. Now I had your typical skills. I could jump. I was a leaper. I definitely was a leaper. I could jump. I could rebound the ball. Things of that nature. I knew the game. I knew the fundamental basics of the game. But the way that I was playing like I was a forward. You know what I mean? And as I got older, of course, that wasn't going to work. You know what I mean? In high school, here I am coming into high school, a high school freshman, and I'm just about maybe, like 5'8.5", 5'9", coming in with forward-like skills is not gonna work. That's not going to work. When
did the transition happen, though, Mark?
The transition happened when I got to high school. Initially, when I got to high school, and I noticed, I said, well, I got to work on my handle. I got to work on my guard skills. And that's what I did. I worked on my guard skills, just like yourself. One summer I went down south, and when I came back, well, that was after my freshman year. After my freshman year of high school, I went down south. I came back, and I grew immensely. You know what I'm saying? I grew. I was like 6'1" when I came back, and I knew I was going to grow some more. I was only like 15. I was 16, actually 16, going into my sophomore year, and I knew I was going to continue to grow. So at that point, the Kenny Andersons, and you know what I'm saying, and it was
name them, fam, name them.
It's endless. It's endless. I mean, your Kenny Andersons, your you know, your Rich Ashmeys, your Derek Phelps, you know, Rob Phelps. Like it was so many dudes. It was so, I mean, Dexter Dunbar, like I could go, it's endless. It's endless. You know what I mean? It's endless. And not just in the CHSAA, like, you know, public school league. You know, one of my good guys, one of my better friends, Dave Sweeting, you know what I'm saying? Manhattan Center, you know what I'm saying? Tough.
Right.
You know,
Tough.
And tough guards. You know, the Terrence Wrenchers, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, and Terrence was younger than us, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like the competition was so fierce and crazy, and it was like, you know, here I am now, 14, 15, 16, and you know, the Adrian Autry's, like I could go on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's go back for 1 sec. You mentioned one guy who will be on here Sunday, Terrence Wrencher. I heard when he was coming up, they were saying he was going to be another Kenny Anderson.
correct.
You know, and he accomplished a lot of things that Kenny did at that time.
Correct.
How ill was he back then?
Oh man, Terrence. I remember Terrence. I remember T when T must have been about wow. He must have been about 13. You know what I'm saying? And he was already like 6'2". He was 6'2", left-handed, smooth, could play point guard, shooting guard, had the moves, the behind the back dribble, sharp, a defender. You know what I'm saying? And it was unreal. It was unreal, wow, the things that he was doing at 13. You know, at 13 years old, he looked like he was ready for varsity. At 13, he was just like, he was very skilled, and he could shoot. He was very skilled, crazy. Left-handed, 13 years old.
Right. So with the left hand, people was in their mind already had Kenny written in, like, yo, this kid is the deal. And he had that sweet jump shot.
Sweet jumper. He was left-handed. You know what I'm saying? And he was 13. And when he was 13, like I said, he was already like 6'1". Like he was definitely 6 foot at 13. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when he was nasty. And I remember when he went to St. Raymond's, and he was a problem, and everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. You know what I mean? He was tough. I mean, but it was just that I want to tell you, Glenn, that era from I want to say from 1988 all the way to about 19, maybe before that, maybe 87, because you know I wasn't in high school. I wasn't in high school.
All right, let's just say this, right? From as far back as you can remember, there's always like that 10-year gap, right? There's always like that 10-year stretch, correct, right? Then you go before. I think during your time, it was coming to that end because it was so successful back then. Remember, the further we go back, the more successful New York City was.
No question about it. No question.
So as we move up, it became lesser, right, than it was before. But even during that time in the 90s, in the mid-90s, because that was that stretch where we had so many players coming out at that time. But it was the same thing back in the days. But in your eyes and what you saw, and I seen it too, there was definitely a resurgence.
Absolutely.
I think we had hit that peak, and then we had kind of dropped after that.
Correct. Absolutely. I want to say
after Stephon left, it kind of like
you may say after the Stephon Marbury era, like after Stephon, after Steph, the Stephon Marbury Lincoln high school era. That's when I want to say it kind of New York City as a hotbed. That's when it kind of veered off. It kind of veered off for whatever reason, and you know, guys like myself, it was so crazy we just instantaneously think, yo, it's gonna be like this forever. You know what I'm saying? New York City is, if you could play in New York City, you could play anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was the thought of, that was the mindset, and people wanted to come to New York and play. Other players that, other good players, great players wanted to come to New York and play against the, New York City players. That it has always been like that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I want to say after the Steph era, it kind of veered off for whatever reason. It just. But the '90s, the late '80s into the early '90s, that was tough. That was my era. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was always.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was so many hungry. Guys were just hungry, man. Hungry. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. I'm gonna say another name, Ruben Numhard. That was one of the toughest cats I ever played against. You know what I'm saying? Ruben Numhard. I mean, I could go on and on.
What school?
I can't even remember what school Ruben went to. I think it was a public school, but he was tough.
Okay.
Ruben Numhard.
Let me know what school did Ruben Numhard go to, people that's in the room.
Yeah, in the chat, Ruben Numhard, if you remember what high school he went to, that was one of the toughest dudes I ever played against, man. He went to Stevenson. Yeah, he was tough.
Oh, he went to Stevenson. Okay.
He was tough. And it was just, it was a hotbed, and
No. He was saying you have to say Lance and Sebastian Stevenson era, right? He mentioned them. Now listen, this is not a knock on those guys because they had great careers, right? And of course they went to Lincoln. But you got to understand what my man Mark is saying in his eyes and what he saw and what he was paying attention to. The same thing with myself. I'm not knocking all the other eras. And this is why we kind of have to bridge those gaps, right? And not say that one era is better than the other because we played in that era. Now, if you ask a kid who played in the 2000s, he's going to say his era was better.
Of course.
It's just what it is.
That's
so it's not a knock.
If you ask Stephon is going to say, yeah, my era was the best. You know what I'm saying? Rightly so. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question. Before you go on, I don't want to lose Julia NC says, was it difficult to get used to playing organized basketball with referees and running plays, and how did you do it? Knowing you was kind of like finding your way till you got to high school and then it really started to click.
Of course it took, it's just like anything else. It's, it was a learning curve, just like with the DJing, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't, it's like anything else, you got to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. I had to learn how to play with referees. I could play in the park all day long, And like I said, my man Reggie Starr, he introduced me to organized basketball, and what happened, I just eventually I learned how to play with the referees out there. I learned, and just like anything else, and I learned how to play with plays. It's all of it is learning. All of it is completely learning, and that's what it was. It was, it absolutely took some time. It took some time, and I learned. Of course, when you first get out there, it's it's trial and error. You run the play, you might run the play wrong. You know what I'm saying? You could be the smartest basketball player ever. You know what I'm saying, Glenn? Like
it happens. It happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody. Whomever you are. If you the greatest talent, like you have to learn how to play. You have to learn how to run plays. You know what I mean? That's an important part of it. And it took me some time. But when I got to high school, I was able to, I was used to playing with referees. So that kind of came naturally. But again, like I said earlier, I had to hone my skills a little more because I was pretty much playing like a small forward,
Right.
And I had to hone my skills more. So I started working on my handle and my guard skills. and things of that nature. And that's what I did. I used to go to the park a lot, you know, as I did as a youngster, and then in high school I did that as well. And I was just I worked on my skills. I worked on my skills and things of that.
Now we have a breakthrough because my guy Best Basketball said Rule went to Clinton and Weber State. Salute.
Clinton. He went to Clinton.
Look,
yeah.
Let him know we talked about him, and we want to definitely have him on Basketball Heads Live, man.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
So when you was coming up, who did you pattern your game after?
It's a good question. Well, at the time, of course, I was a New York Knicks fan, of course, and at that time, who was really making noise was Marc Jackson, the guard, you know. But and
I thought you was gonna say Ron Strickland, but that worked too.
And you know what I'm saying, Glenn? That right there is another story, man, because I used to go to different, you know, try out for different AAU teams outside of Riverside, you know what I mean? And then, like, the coaches would ask me my name, and they'd be like, Marc Jackson, come on, man. I know you idolize this guy, but come on. Like, they didn't believe me. And, you know, here I am, you know, 11, 12 years old, and they like, come on, man. That ain't your name, fam. Come on. You know, so those were experiences that I had to live with. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like a lot of coaches.
That's tough. That's tough. Because every time you know, guys, we don't really care about that. But a coach, you tell a coach that, he like Marc Jackson.
Yeah, so I had to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me see what you got.
Right. That's
extra added pressure.
That was the scenario. That absolutely was the scenario. It was extra added pressure. Well, this kid is saying his name is Marc Jackson, so he must be the goods. You know what I mean? So it was tough. It was tough. So, you know, I would go harder. You know, I would try to show all aspects of the game, my defensive game as well, because a lot of coaches look for that as well. So I would, you know, it was. So it was a lot of, it was absolutely added pressure with just telling these coaches what my name was. You know what I mean? And they like, yo, this kid is telling us his name is Marc Jackson, man. Like, come on, B. Like, is he for real? Like, you know what I mean? So
right.
It was a lot with that. You know, even when I would go to summer camps and things like that, you know, coaches would be like, Marc Jackson, really? You know, but, you know, I was able to show them that I could play. And, you know, I guess it kind of like, you know, they were sweeping under the rug a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But they still was like, come on, you know.
What year did you make the team?
Which team? High school. Oh yeah, well, immediately, freshman year. You know, I played freshman, and then you know, I played with as you mentioned, I played with Jamal Mashburn, incredible talent. You know, I met Jamal at 13 years old, and honestly, the things that he did in the league and at Kentucky, he was doing at 13 years old. Just an amazing talent. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yo, just an amazing, like, he was just amazing, an amazing talent. Amazing talent. He
How tall was he at 13?
At 13, I want to say he was about 6'4". He was 6'4" when he came to Hayes. When he came to Hayes, he was 6'4", and he was doing, like, there was no, like, I mean, of course he worked on his game, but he had that, you know, he had that smooth in and out, the spin, everything that he displayed at Kentucky, he was already doing at 13 years old. He was doing all of that at 13 years old.
That's crazy.
You know, yeah. He was doing all
and
that.
And if you think about Mash, he wasn't that cut up dude, right?
No, actually.
Even in college and as a grown-up, he said like the baby fat, but still killing. Like, it was just like incredible.
When as freshmen at Cardinal Hayes, he was chubby, but he had skills. He had
Right.
skills. His skill set was unmatched. His skill set was unmatched. He clearly was the best kid in the school. You know what I mean, at that time. And yeah, he was just like, he was you know, again, his skill set was there at the tender age of 13, 14. We freshmen, and he was doing amazing things out there. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, yeah, like as you said, as time progressed, you know, and then when he went to Kentucky, you know, all that, you know, he was in the gym. He started, you know, I guess he started weight training. He did start weight training. He actually started weight training later on in high school, but, you know, he definitely went hard in Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he was a problem. He was definitely a problem. And yeah, that's my guy. I haven't talked to him all.
Gordon Winchester, that's my dude.
Yeah,
Now somebody mentioned Gordon Winchester.
Gordy,
yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, Gordy, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's definitely my guy. Gordy was definitely shout to my brother Gordon Winchester. Gordy was definitely, let me say this, at Riverside Church, okay, Gordon Winchester was definitely one of the best players at Riverside Church. And I'm saying, I'm not saying that just because that's my guy and that's my brother, but he was one of the best. You know, I'm talking about in that he was all city with the likes of God bless the dead, Malik Sealy, and he was all city at that time when Malik Sealy was like, you know, you talking about Mr. Basketball, and Malik was a terror. We all know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, rest in peace, Malik. And a good guy.
And an amazing guy. And an amazing guy. Rest his soul. That was definitely the big brother. You know what I'm saying? Malik.
All right. So let's get back focused on you, right? Because we're gonna get back to naming some other guys as well.
Right.
Now, with you're playing with Jamal, right? And rightfully so, all the attention is focused on him.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
The scouts, the coaches. Do you feel like you got your fair shot in playing enough time, feeling like you was a part of the team? And what kind of run did y'all have while he was there?
Well, here's the thing. There were so many guards. We had a ton of guards. And so everybody was fighting for that shine, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like with Jamal, you know, you had all sorts of scouts and you know, recruiters, you know, college recruiters that came specifically to see him. So, and you know, as a team, we all knew that, and you know, so guys were really trying to. It was a battle just within the team because we knew that they were coming to see Jamal, and so you know, it's like, you know, like the NCAA theme song, you know, that shining moment. You know what I'm saying, Glenn? So it was like everybody was fighting to get that shining moment, you know, and it was tough. It was tough within the team itself because we knew, okay, well, you know, they coming out for Maul. They coming out for Jamal. You know what I'm saying? So it was tough. It was tough.
So did you ever have a breakout moment during any time in high school where, you know, you playing against all those top guards? Listen, back when you was playing in that era, every team had a good guard, and
every night it was
a battle.
Every night it was a tough battle. I mean, you know, like I said earlier, you know, you had the likes of Kenny Anderson. Shout to my bro Kenny Anderson, my guy Kenny Anderson. You know, he was absolutely the top guard in New York City at that time. You know, and they was coming to see him too. You know, so when we would play Malloy, that was just like, oh, if you getting some time, you knew that all of the top recruiters in the country was going to see you, and then you could potentially have your shining moment. You know what I'm saying? But more so than that. Yeah, like every night it was something. Every night, it was so many good guards. You had the Khalid Reeves of the world, and you know what I'm saying? Like he's, shout to Khalid Reeves. Like he's another
Derek
good,
Phelps, his backcourt partner.
Derek Phelps, that's my brother. That's my brother. Derek Phelps, tough. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when I met Khalid, I was about 13, 14, and he's another one. You know what I'm saying? And he was just hungry. Khalid. And he wasn't thinking about Riverside and Gauchos and all that. He was like, yo, I'm here. I'm gonna make something happen. And that's what he did. Like, and it was just such a hotbed of basketball. It was so many tough players and tough guards, and it was a battle every night, whether it be Catholic school basketball or public high school basketball. It didn't matter. It was tough every single night. Every single night.
Here's the question. In all your years of basketball, from Cardinal Hayes to the summer leagues, who ass did you bust to let you know that you can play?
Well, I would say, like I said, one of the tougher battles that I had was against my guy Ruben Nemhard, and he was tough. And I want to say that it was just back and forth. We was going at each other. You know what I'm saying? I had tough battles with a lot of. I mean, it was just so competitive, man. I mean, yeah, that was me going up against Ruben Nemhard. That was one of my better. Like I really was showing my stuff, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I mean, playing against guys like Khalid Reeves and Rich Ashme and these guys were tough guards, man. Division I worthy guards. My brother Derek Phelps, just going against these guys, night in, night out, and it built me in terms of confidence, not just on the court, off the court as well,
Yeah. Sometimes we have to go through that. And I tell guys, sometimes it's about who asked you bust, but a lot of times it's who you competed against. When you feel like you competed and you know that guy's on a higher level than you, then that's a win-win.
No doubt.
That's like, you getting jumped by 2 or 3 dudes and you fight back. You won.
No doubt.
And especially if you live.
No doubt. No question about it.
I do not condone violence. Let me just say that. I'm just using that as an example.
You're using it,
right? But this is all relative. This is all relative.
It is, and that's what it was. It was constant. It was constant battles, and it was like if you either showed up or you didn't. You either showed up or you didn't. You know what I'm saying? And you knew at the end of the game because those dudes that you knew was going to beat those dudes that you were competing against. You knew at the end of the game when they would come up to you and they would give you, they give you a pound and a hug. You knew, and that's what every dude that I played against. That's what it was, and that's how I knew for myself that all right. Well, I fit in. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it was, and it created the confidence. Like I said, it was so many. And then even in the summer leagues and things like that, you playing all of the time. You just playing.
Right.
You wanna get better. When you hungry. When you're hungry to get better, and you do. that was always that was also felt. That was also felt. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, let me tell you. I'm telling you right now, we have a situation going on in a room that I think we should talk about for one moment, right? So this is always exciting for me when I see people going at it in the room, right? So we're just gonna do this real quick. This is, hey, right now we got Cool Beat TV Network and my man Russ Williams going back and forth just a little bit. Cool Beat TV said,
shout to my bro Kubi. That's my man. That's my brother.
Yo, he said public schools are tough and the Catholic schools are scared to play the public schools. And then my guy Russ Williams came in, who played up in Clancy. He was like, hold on. The Catholic School League is one of the toughest leagues in the country. So is the PSL AA. But this is a great thing because we just did a Zoom chat, and I gotta put it out soon, about the competition between the PSAL and the Catholic School League.
I want to say this.
That's a whole nother show, but I just wanted to mention that. Yeah,
right. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Right.
And I want to say equally again. I'm 86 to 90. Equally. It was every night, every single night. I don't care if you was boys and girls, Clinton High School, Park West, whatever it is, Norman Thomas, Cardinal Hayes, Malloy, St. Nicholas of Tarleton. You could go on and on and on and on and on. Every night, public school, Catholic school, whatever, parochial school, it didn't matter. Every night it was a battle. Every night.
Yes.
Every night.
Pick your poison. Any night somebody could get it.
Anybody could get it. It was such a hotbed during that time. It was such a hotbed for basketball, and cats was hungry to get their name up. It didn't matter. It did not matter. And anybody could really get theirs off in a game, and that game will be talked about for days and months and maybe even years to come.
Right.
Like that's how it was.
Okay.
That's how it was.
So you played all the way up to your senior year.
Correct.
Now, the next step is usually college for most ball players.
Absolutely.
What did you do?
I went to college. I did go to college. I had letters that my coach was holding from me, and that was cool. But
withholding letters, that's a crime. That's a crime. We're gonna withholding letters. That's a crime. That's a crime.
But I figured it out. So what I ended up doing was I ended up going to a junior college in Lake Placid, New York, and I played there for 2 years. Then I transferred from there, and then I went to Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Sure, salute to one of my mentors, the legendary coach Ray Haskins. He was definitely there as well.
Absolutely. And that's what happened. And I just at that particular point, you know what I mean? I knew that, I knew I wasn't going to the league or nothing like that, but I continued to play. And in college, I started to, I always had, now here's the segue into the music. You know what I'm saying, Glenn? So in college, I always had, even before college, I always had a love for music, always had an ear for music. And I decided to learn how to DJ. at that point. And you know, luckily for me, I was friends with a lot of DJs. I was friends with a lot of DJs out of New York City at that point. You know, guys like DJ SNS, DJ Craig G. You know, I knew these guys really well, and things of that nature. And I decided to learn. And again, just like basketball, I went through, my trials and tribulations with it, learning and learning the craft and getting better. It took some time. It took years, and when I finished college, I was still playing a little bit, not a whole hell of a lot, but I was playing. I was still good enough to play in leagues. I played in a couple pro-ams, in New York, and things of that nature. And
what pro-am did you play? What pro-am did you play?
What was it? The one, the one. What was that? That was the Nike Pro-Am, I want to say it was. They played games at what school was that? Where was that?
You had Brandeis. You had City College.
No, not City College. I believe it was Brandeis.
Okay.
The games was at Brandeis, and I played there. I played. I remember. I think I was telling you it was one summer. I was really, and this is when I was still at Shaw. One summer I came home and I was working out really, really hard. I was working out at Gaucho Gym. I was working out at Gaucho Gym almost every day one summer. And one of my favorite all-time guards, salute, shout out to Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland used to be in the gym. And I would watch him, and he would watch me. I was in there working out, and he was in there working out. Rod, and it was amazing to me because Rod was in there. He wouldn't touch a ball. He was in there, and he was just running laps. And he had the body punching bag.
Yeah.
And he would put the bag on his shoulders, and he was running laps with that bag around Gaucho Gym. He was doing several laps. I was like, yo, this is wild.
Yo, let me tell y'all, not the little punching bag where you go. No, the big body punching bag. Okay, the big long one on the back. Pause.
The big body bag. And
right.
He would put that on his shoulders. He would put that on his shoulders, and he would run around the gym. He was doing laps in the gym, and I was like, yo, this dude is a perennial all-star. Like this dude is one of the top guards in the league, and he putting in this work. He's putting in this work. He is putting in this work on the off season, heavy. You know what I'm saying? DJ Mighty Mark versus DJ Clue and Ball. Yeah, well, listen, if y'all want to set that up, we can set that up.
Who wins? Who wins, Mark? Who wins?
Listen, I heard Clue could play a little something, but nah. I'm definitely betting on me. Definitely.
If he wasn't part of the brotherhood, he don't got a chance.
I'm definitely betting on me. But I mean, shout to DJ Clue. You know what I'm saying? He absolutely is a legend.
Definitely shout to Clue.
You know what I'm saying?
This next question I put in. This is for my guy, Russ Williams, who got Transitional Tuesdays on Facebook. I speak to a lot of guys about the transitional part of their life, right? And right. You face one being in college, seeing, this bull thing is not going to take me where I need to go.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And you start to pick up, which was a hobby at first, right? And it turned to something that you can actually make a living from.
Right, right.
Was that transition difficult for you, leaving the ball behind?
Yeah, it was tough. It was definitely tough because, this is something. I mean, and I mean the love of the game will never leave. That will never leave my spirit or my soul. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
leaving the game alone and knowing that, you know, coming to grips with, okay, well, you know, the ideals about going overseas is, I don't know if that's going to happen, or, you know, even having, you know, dreams of going into the league, you know, those, you know, as a true ball player, you know, yeah, it's tough to kind of like let all of that go. But, you know, reality is reality. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Smack you right in the face if you're not prepared for it.
absolutely. And, you know, coaching was always, you know, you have the love for the game. So coaching was always an option. You know, it still is an option now. You know what I mean? You know, I try to stay aware and observant of our youth coming up today. And, you know, I have zero issues or problems with sharing with, the younger generation. Oh, you need to do this. You know, you need to learn how to do in and outs. You need to, you know what I'm saying? You need to learn there's more to it. You need to learn how to shoot. You know, you need to learn change your pace. You definitely need to learn how to play defense, you know, and these are the things that I, you know, as a coach, I would emphasize on to younger players, you know, learn, you know, and when you do these things, you know, definitely developing your confidence, you know, all of these things, these are the things that I would do. So to answer your question fully, yeah, it was tough to kind of, you know, let the basketball go. You know, and like I said, when I got into the DJing world, I kind of definitely took on the same passion with the DJing as I do with playing basketball. And I also had the same mindset of, you know, the competitive nature. In terms of the competitive nature, you know, there's so many great DJs, you know, not only in New York City but throughout the world. And
For sure.
Right, and I had that, and I basically had that same mentality, like, you know, you got to work on your game, B. You got to work on your game if you're trying to make a name for yourself, as well as, you know, just setting the tone. You have to work on your game, and it was pretty much the same thing. So, you know, I put a lot of work in terms of practicing, you know, sets and playing music and learning how to play certain music and learning how to rock parties and things of that nature. It was a lot of studying.
When did your big break come in music to where, you know, you can actually go to different stations or different areas to play? When was that big break or that big moment? We all have them. It happens in sports, you know, in life. What was that big moment?
I would say it was a couple of moments. I would say, I remember one event. Well, it was a couple. A lot of the time I was opening up. I was opening up for big name DJs, if you will, you know. Shout out to the big bro, the world famous DJ Kid Capri. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Icon.
Right, icon, living legend. A few times I opened up for Kid Capri, and I would have to say, in New York City and out of state. And these were the moments. These were the shining moments, just like what we talked about earlier. Those were the shining moments for me. Just opening up for Kid Capri and opening up for I opened up for a lot of DJs early in my career. You know, definitely opening up for Kid Capri. Opening up for guys like DJ Envy, DJ Self. You know, I could go on. DJ Scratch. You know.
Salute, my God, DJ Scratch.
Yeah, opening up for him. And you know,
Brooklyn's favorite.
he was one of the illest dudes I ever seen on the turntables, you know what I'm saying? Outside of, you know, of course the Kid Capri's and
Right.
Listen,
Kid Capri is the only guy that I know that could rock a party and don't have to play any new music.
No music. No new music, and he will.
You don't have to play any new music. He could rock a party just playing disco or just playing R&B. Whatever he chooses to pick, he's going to kill a party.
No
and he do it his own different way. So salute DJ Kid Capri. I've seen him do it on numerous occasions.
Salute the big bro. Salute the big bro, Poochie, Kid Capri, man. I mean, I have opened up for him several times. I opened up for him one time. It had to be like 2,000 people in the building. And to see 2,000 people just rocking, that was inspiring to me. You know what I mean? Just having, you know, he literally shook the building. You know how you hear DJ saying, you know, they shook the building? Like, he literally had the building rocking. You could feel the building vibrating. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, these are moments that I will never ever forget. You know, yeah. All
right, let's stay on the music. Let's stay on the music right now.
Okay.
Right now, top 5 DJs all time.
Wow. Woof. Kid Capri. It's tough, man. Put me on the spot, bro.
Yo, you heard? Look, my artist want to hear this.
Woof. Top 5 of all time?
Yes.
Kid Capri. DJ SNS. That's my brother.
Okay.
Party DJs?
Fam, just give me 5 DJs. I know you said Scratch is one of them.
Scratch is is incredible, man. Kid Capri, SNS, Scratch. That's 3 right there, right?
That's 3.
Man.
Get this right, or my man gonna mess your picture up.
Fuck that shit.
I definitely gotta throw my bro Boogie Blind in there. Boogie Blind.
Okay.
He's one of the illest, and that's my family. Boogie Blind, ill. Just sick with it. Damn. It's tough, man.
One more, fam.
Tough. Wow. One more. I'm you know what? I'm gonna keep it home. I'm gonna say DJ Craig G. Definitely.
Okay.
That's my top 5.
All right. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mel Star, definitely Mel. You know, I see what you're saying, Mac. Yeah, Mel Star, Jazzy Jeff is tough too. Jazzy Jeff is tough, man.
Definitely. But you gotta go with who you gotta go with. You know what I'm saying? So nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, my man in the back was saying, "Go ahead, I'll let you say it. Go ahead, tell him who you ain't want him to say."
Oh, I was like, please don't say flex.
Nah.
Yeah.
And I
was like, please.
No disrespect to Funk Flex at all. You know, I DJ with him as well. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's just my personal.
The top 5. Cool. Now let's top 5 MCs.
All right. Well, let me just start off. My favorite.
Hold on. I'm gonna bring you back, right? Because the time is about to run out. You can think about it, right? I'll give you a chance to think about it, and you'll have a.
Definitely.
All right, so you got some time to think about it, my brother. All right.
Jeopardy, yeah.
We're going to come right back. Top 5 MCs. Ready? All right, that's it.
All right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nasty Nas, number 1. It's my top.
Salute to the God.
Salute to the God. Nasir Jones. That's my top. Number 1. Number 2, Big Pun.
Woo!
Big Pun.
Dead in the middle, little Illity. I could never do that part of the song, but salute Big Pun.
Salute.
And rest in peace.
And rest in peace. Rest in paradise. Big Pun. Notorious B.I.G. You gotta throw Notorious B.I.G. in there.
Biggie! That's right. My dude. Salute and R.I.P. to Big.
Sleep in peace, B.I.G. Tough, man. Tough. You gotta throw Rakim in there.
Okay, cause I was like, you're taking too long, fam. What's going on? Rakim the God. That's right.
How many
Salute
is that?
Rakim.
Is that 4?
That's 4.
Damn.
You're going back to thinking mode. All right, now. we got the legendary Bobby Hunter in the building. Globetrotter great Bobby Hunter's in the building.
Salute Bobby Hunter. Salute. Salute.
Last guy.
I guess you got to throw Hove in that. You got to throw Hove in there.
You got to throw Hove. You got to throw Hove.
You got to throw Hove in there.
Let me tell you something, fam. Let me tell you something. Jay-Z, and I'm not saying it because it's the right thing to say or whatever. I watched him from the beginning. I remember the days when, you know, Kane used to take his music to the record labels and Kane had him opening up.
Right.
I watched him study the game. What Jay-Z has done with music.
Oh, incredible.
Is incredible. Not only just what he's done, I'm not even talking about money-wise. I'm just talking about lyric-wise and what he's done with the music and being able to stretch his career so long. And starting so late. Jay put out his first album at 26, 27.
Absolutely.
That's late in the game, fam.
Absolutely. 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 Absolutely.
And for him to keep switching it up and stay on top.
Absolutely.
It's unmatched.
Unmatched, unprecedented, all that. Unmatched. Unmatched. Unmatched.
All right. Number top 5. Top 5 ball players in New York City history.
Oh, man. Damn. Top 5? Damn. Top 5 in New York City history.
Gotta be a student in the game, fam.
Yeah. Top 5 in New York City history.
Bobby Hunter, put up your top 5.
Damn. Top 5.
See, while you thinking, I'm gonna let you know, Tiny Archibald, my point guard.
I was getting ready to say Tiny.
Rolando Blackman is my 2 guard.
Damn. That's what I'm saying.
Bernard King is my small forward. Connie Hawkins is my power forward. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's my center.
That's tough, man. Top
Go
five.
ahead. Name your team, fam.
Top five. That's tough.
Let's make some noise for my team.
Okay. So you took it there. You took it there, Glenn. So top five of all time. So I can't name any players that you name, right?
Nah, go ahead. Name your whatever. Name your top five. It's okay. I just want to give you some inspiration.
Out of New York City, top five. Damn. Of all time. You got to throw Dr. J in there.
Okay.
You got to throw Julius Erving in there.
And we accept all our people from Long Island as New Yorkers, so it's all love.
Yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know?
That's two.
That is so tough, bro. That is tough. I'm gonna throw Ross Strickland in there.
Ross Strickland. That's a good one. That's a good one right there. Definitely.
Ross Strickland. Chris Mullin. Chris Mullin.
I could have switched either Chris Mullin or Bernard King, either or. It would have yeah.
Bernard King.
I should have put Chris on that team. Neither shooter. Damn it.
Bernard King was so tough though. Bernard King was tough. You know what I'm saying? Especially growing up as a New York Knicks fan. Bernard King was he was a beast.
But now I'm thinking about, now you got me rethinking my team now. Because
right. Nah, Chris Mullin. How many is that? Did I say so far? How many?
You said Chris Mullin, Dr. J, and you said Kareem.
That's four?
That's three.
Okay. And I gotta put my guy, the Monster Mash, in there.
Oh, you said Mullin, and you said Mullin as well, and Mash, that's five.
Gotta put my guy in there, Monster Mash. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Bobby Hunter said, Tony, you gotta let me know last name, because, you know, we younger guys, we don't know. Connie, I know Roger Brown, definitely a monster. Tiny, Archibald, and Dr. J.
Right.
He said Kareem as well. Okay. And who else was done? Somebody put their five. Hastily says Kareem, Doc, Bernard King, Tiny, and Chris Mullin. Yeah. Look, Bernard King.
Bernard King was.
I would have to put Chris. If I'm talking about teams, right? I wanted to pick people that could play together and would have been unselfish.
Right.
But
right.
I'm thinking now I would need another shooter. I got Rolando Blackman. I know Tiny can shoot, but he's such a great distributor and can score anywhere in the court.
Right.
I would have to have another shooter on the wing because Bernard will be clogging up the baseline for Kareem and Connie.
Right.
So in this day and age, I would have to spread it open. So I think I would replace Bernard King with Chris Mullin. Tony Jackson. Wow. Okay. Bobby Hunter said Tony with the Tony Jackson.
Tony Jackson. Okay.
T. Short said Gerald Green, who was on here.
Green,
for sure.
Stuff. Yeah.
G. Green. All right. Now, your perception of New York City basketball right now.
I'm not saying. Well, you know, it's a different time. It's a different.
Okay. Okay.
These guys, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, oh well, we didn't have access to this, and this. It's a different time. It's a different time. You know what I'm saying, Glenn? It's a
Yeah.
different time, and I think it's starting to become a hotbed again, like how it was in the you know in the early '80s, I guess I want to say in the '70s. You know, when you had guys in the early '80s, in the early '80s, when you had guys like Rod Strickland when he was in high school and things like that. I think that it's starting to become a hotbed again.
I think for the girls, I think right now the girls are going to better colleges straight from high school more than the guys are right now. So definitely, and I agree. It seems like it's coming back around,
Absolutely,
but
absolutely.
I think right now we're too far behind Jersey. That's who we playing catch up to right now. We're playing catch up to Jersey, and God knows how far we are behind California. But again, it's a work in progress,
Right.
and I think it starts with conversation and then the action that follows.
No question about it. You know,
Three people. The best high school basketball you played against, the best college player you played against, and the best pro, no matter if he was in high school, college, or summer league. 3 players, just 3. 1 in high school, 1 in college, and 1 pro.
I have to say, damn.
Who in high school?
Kenny Anderson. And,
Kenny Anderson.
He's a pro. He was a pro. He's a pro also.
So you answered both high school and pro. That's your now best college player you played against.
Again, Ruben Numhart. He was tough, man. Like this dude was tough. He was tough, man. You know, he was tough. He was really solid.
No doubt.
He was tough.
And we're gonna try to find where the hell Ruben Numhart is so we can get him.
Yeah. I would like
on the show.
I definitely would like to know. I definitely would be. I'm intrigued to know.
Yeah, so after kicking it with you and talking with you on the phone and learning your story, can you give some advice to some kids out there who may not see themselves as one of the better ball players and they're finding it hard to figure something else out? You took that path of into the music industry, right?
Right.
Honing your craft as a DJ, even though it wasn't easy, you made your transition.
Correct.
Can you give some advice out there to some young man or young woman out there who's having a difficult time, you know, after basketball or because basketball didn't work out for them?
Well, that's the time to really, you know, and this is hard too, what I'm about to say. That is the time to really kind of like tap into yourself. You know, and especially now in today's world, you know, there's a lot of, you know, I have to say, and you know this too, Glenn, there's a lot of distractions out here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So for young people, there's a lot of distractions. For older people too, there's a lot of distractions out here in the world. And you have to be centered to kind of look into yourself really and say, and try to figure it out. If basketball didn't happen to work out for you, or did, you know, the path that you were trying to engage in didn't work out for you, you know, what else is it could I do, or what else is it that I want to do? You know, you really have to, and that's difficult. You know, that's difficult. You know, you have to tap into. It was difficult for me. You know, and this is absolutely a different time now, a different time and age now from when I tapped into myself and said, you know what, I'm not going to the league. I'm not. I had to fight that. I was fighting myself with that. I'm not going to the league. I'm not going overseas. So what is it that I'm going to do? What else is it? What else is there that I can do that I have a passion for?
That's key. That's key. I want to make some noise for that right there. That's key. That's key. Because that's one of my P's, right?
Right.
Like 12 P's that when I mentor kids, I kind of give them a breakdown of these 12 P's. And purpose is the first one, and passion is definitely the next one, because without passion, it turns into work.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with hard work. But when you're doing something you love, it makes life so much better.
No question. No question. Just like going back to, earlier life. I had so much passion for the game of basketball. It wasn't, I'm playing just to play, because I had passion for the game. And the same comes along with the DJing, I had so much passion for it, for the music, It's like, don't get me wrong, you want to, you don't, if you're doing events and things like that, of course you want to make your money. But DJing, I have so much passion for it equally, just like basketball. The game of basketball is nothing for me to do it. It's almost effortless, and that's what, and I'm saying this to the young people. That's something that you want to tap. You want to tap into yourself and really, really, really kind of just sit with yourself and figure those things out. Any event that you're in a situation where basketball is not taking you on the path that you would want it to take you, you have to really tap into yourself and say, all right, well, what is it that I want to do? Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's not coaching, it's a matter of just really getting, digging deep into yourself, and just kind of, you know what I'm saying, Glenn? Just kind of having a meeting, this is what I call it, having a meeting with yourself and saying, what is it that I really want to do here? What is it that I really want to do? Maybe I want to coach. Maybe I want to pass on the skills that I worked on, that I so hardly worked on, and pass that on to the youth.
What was it about DJing? What was it about DJing that make you take that turn there? Because that's not a transition from basketball. That's not like the usual transition, right?
Well, again, absolutely. Well, again, like I said, I always had a passion for music. Always.
There you go. Okay.
Even from a youth. I always had a passion for music. God bless the dead. My mother, she used to always say that I had an ear for music. Rest in peace to my mother. Yeah, she used to say that. You got an ear for music. And you know what I'm saying. I grew up where music was always played in my house. You know what I'm saying. God bless the dead. My mother. Here's another story, Glenn. My mother, right? Her birthday was on New Year's Eve. So there was, you understand what I'm saying? So for all of my life, there was always a crazy party in my house.
Right.
From like 3 years old.
Hearing the best music. Hearing the best of the best music. You understand? So that's where that part of it came from. The music was always there. It was always there. Right.
As a fierce competitor, in high school and playing college ball, and also, playing in the pro-ams and, leagues and, things of that nature. The music was always a part of it. Music was always there. You understand? So it quite naturally, it kind of was inevitable for me to end up DJing, to becoming a DJ, because the music was always there. It was just always there.
All right, so I'm gonna end it with Bobby Sumter last question, right? Because we gotta respect the OG.
No question.
He said, what is your best song?
Wow.
And best singer? Well, I guess he's saying best artist. Best song and best artist.
All time?
All time.
Michael Jackson, no question. No question. Song?
Anything by Michael Jackson?
The best Michael Jackson song. That's tough too. That's tough. But yeah, Michael Jackson is definitely my all-time favorite artist.
Best song. Best song. It don't gotta be a Michael Jackson song, but best song.
Best song. That's tough, man.
And you're a DJ too. That's that's a hard question for a DJ.
Damn. Best song of all time. Wow. Ooh, that's tough. That is tough. It's so many. There's so many.
Just pick one. Pick one of your favorites.
Well, right now, I'm gonna tell you my favorite song right now, and people on Instagram know this too, because I play this record all the time on my little feeds and all that, and my little, you know what I'm saying, my little joints or whatever, my little reels and all that. But it's a song called "Full Circle" on the new Nas album. That is
got you.
That is like my favorite joint right now. You know what I'm saying? That record is just, it's a dope ass record. You know what I'm saying? Like that record is.
Bobby Hunter said, "Ask his woman." Yo, this guy is like a real comedian, for real.
Yeah.
Sometimes he catches me off guard, and I feel like, damn, he joking, right? Like, but salute to you, Bobby. Salute to you. Yo, let me tell you this too. The first time we used the Jeopardy sound effects on the show and the cheering special effects, I knew I wanted to do it, and I got to do it with you tonight, bro, my brother. It turned out well, because I know when my guy turn around, it's something good I'm doing, right? Whenever my guy, because he stay focused on the art.
Right.
Whenever I do something, my guy turn around, I know it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So, yo, brother, I'm glad you came to the show, man. It's been an honor to kick it with you. I know you said it's been an honor to come to the show. Absolutely. I always feel like whoever comes on the show is definitely our honor to have you, man. So we cooked up something nice for you.
Appreciate it. Well, again, I appreciate being on the show and being a guest on your show, and I salute you. I'm going to continue to support the show. I'm going to let people know about the show as well. You've already before me, you've had a whole host of incredible players that came out of our city and things of that nature. So let
me tell you this too, fam. I'm in your hood doing my promo as I do, throughout the summer in the parks, and I see this guy walk by me, right? 6'3", height, right? Eye to eye. And in the back of my head go, damn, he looks familiar. But Duke kept walking, right? So we go shoot our video. Hits me up later. Yo, G, what's up? Yo, that was me that walked past you.
Right.
I'm like, yo, Mark, why did you say what's up? You know what I'm saying? It's that New York tough, that New York toughness we got. Right. Sometimes we don't want to, feel like we imposing on someone.
Right.
I'm telling you, if you guys, and it happened this weekend, I was at Rucker, the 155th. Mm-hmm. One of the people that watch me all the time, her name is Bree. I never met her before. I know she comes on the show and she supports Basketball Head a lot.
Right.
She's a sports mom.
Okay.
So I'm up at 155th in Rucker doing my thing watching the girls play. She hits me up. Was you at 155th today? Oh, I knew that was you. I should have said something. You know what I'm saying?
No
But I
question.
saw my guy, K. Purnell, and he walked right up to me. He was like, yo, what's up, my brother? Nice to meet you. I'm K. Purnell. So salute my God, man.
Salute K. Purnell. That's dope. That's absolutely
That's
dope.
right, man. Whenever you see me, say salute. Say what's up, basketball heads. I hear people saying it in the car all the time. Basketball heads, whatever. So I love the love.
Nah, this is it. Like I said, this is an awesome platform. You know, you already, as I said, you already had some amazing players on this. This is a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Contrary to,
I would call it a show, right? Because we don't have any headphones, right? We'll do some of that later on, right? I'm not worried about that. But like everybody just into the podcast thing, and I'm saying that's cool. Y'all can have that lane, and I'll have that being a part of my show as well.
Right.
But this is a basketball show. This is the home of New York City basketball.
No question.
Fact.
No question. That's an absolute fact. Like I said, I'm gonna continue to support you, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
It's an amazing platform. And it's dope because guys are able to share their story. Like we talked about this, Glenn, when you had Rod on here. I was like, I felt like a fan, B. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had Rod on here. I was like, oh, I'm tuned in. Like, I'm definitely, and I think you saw some of my comments and all of that. This is an amazing platform that I definitely will continue to support you and promote it. You know what I mean? I think this is an awesome platform. And even for the guys, like myself, or there's so many guys that work in our city playing ball. You know what I mean? And this is just an awesome platform, and I think that is needed, and I think it's dope for the youth as well. So that they can be in tune with the history, the incredible history that New York City basketball created and is unmatched.
Appreciate you, brother. So now I'm going to show you your picture. Again, I never see the picture until the end. So this is what we're going to do, right?
You're ready? Ready?
Wow, that's dope, man. Wow.
And that's you sitting in your crib with the Riverside jacket on.
With the Riverside jacket, yeah, that's crazy, man. Wow, that's so dope. That's dope.
And this is the back of your computer, your DJ set.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
And we ain't put the Apple sound, we put this, right? Yeah.
That's dope. So dope, man. That's dope. I appreciate that, man.
You're immortalized, man.
I'm on it right now. That is so dope. That's dope. I'm on it. I feel honored, man. I feel honored, man. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that.
Right. Hey, listen, man. We're going to kick it, man. Let's keep those phone lines open. You know what I'm saying? And last thing before you leave, who would you like to nominate to be on the show?
Well, you say you got T. Richard the next show. That's dope.
Yeah. Got Terrence Winter. I got Glenn Daniels coming on next week, and someone else. I guess I gotta check my schedule.
How many people could I nominate?
You can nominate as many as you want, fam. All your connections. Reach out to all your people. Let them know they need to be on Basketball Heads.
Definitely my brother Derek Phelps. Rob
Yeah,
Phelps.
so that I reached out to him and we talked already, so that will be a stamp of approval. Appreciate that.
Rob Phelps.
Rob Phelps, I got Rob Phelps already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out to my guy, David Sweeting.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
David Sweeting. My man Kubi, who was in the chat. Kubi was tough. Kubi was a tough player. I'm gonna reach out to him. You know, he got stories. I'm, you know, that's who I nominate right there.
That's dope, man. Listen, hey Mark, let's do this again, man, real soon.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely holler at you.
Definitely.
Appreciate you. Why everybody show some love to my guy, DJ Mighty Mark.
Appreciate everybody.
You know,
Appreciate everybody. Appreciate
that's
you.
right.
We're gonna
show
do it again.
Some love.
We're gonna do it
that's
again.
Right.
We're gonna do it again very soon.
That's right, my guy. Salute.
All right. Salute, my bro.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Who knew, right? You get like popular DJ and he go, yo, you know, I play ball too, right? Y'all play for Hayes. I played with Jamal Mashburn. I was on that team. Here's my uniform. This is what the brotherhood is about, right? And I tell my guys, when you think your story is not important enough, check out Basketball Heads and let us know. We want to hear it. Everybody has a story. Do you? Peace.